Greetings and good day, Grand Rising Consciousness. Yes, it's Reverend Rodney Gittens here at One Love Center for Spiritual Living. So glad to have you here today. And we're going to start with our opening song, our own personalized opening song, One Love.
Oh, 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 yeah. There's a place where love grows, where the spirit in you knows that you're welcome as you are, shining bright like every star. Come and learn, come and play in the sacred light of day. We're unfolding, growing free in the One Love family. One love, one life, one spirit divine, one heart, one life, your journey and mine, where compassion flows and grace abounds. One love, where love grows, love is found. One love, where love grows all around. Yeah, one love, one life, one life, one life, one spirit divine, one heart, one light, one light, one light, your journey and mine, where compassion flows and grace abounds. One love, where love grows, love is found. One love, where love grows all around. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Welcome to the sacred space, where we honor every face, the splendor of the God in you, shining through in all you do, learning, growing, hand in hand, together we will understand. Prosperous, giving, hearts set free. One love is our destiny. One love, one light, one spirit divine, one heart, one light, your journey and mine, where compassion flows and grace abounds. One love, where love grows, love is found. One love, where love grows all around. Welcome home to one love, to one. Welcome home to one love, where love grows, yeah. To one love.
Oh, wonderful. Don't you love that song? I love that song. I think it speaks of us perfectly. And so we're going to go ahead and welcome you in here. Thank you so much for joining us today. We welcome you. We're so excited to have you with us. And so our mission is to provide a stable and welcoming community to all, stable community for all who choose to learn, practice, and grow and play with under the unfolding of their understanding of spiritual principles and spiritual living. We envision a world as a sacred environment where spiritual living flourishes through the continual growth and development of learning and the application of spiritual principles. One Love Center practices compassion and service, love and action, and joyous, prosperous giving in the community. And our community has been lovingly created as a place of fellowship, meditation, prayer, sacred and healing service, musical celebration, classes, workshops, and spiritual films. And so we welcome you. We welcome all of you. We welcome our guests. We welcome you who are going to be watching this as a recording. And we recognize the splendor of the divine spirit that is within you. Please know that we support you in being the best you choose to be in your glorious life. Thank you for celebrating spirit with us today. Welcome to a place where love grows. And I'd like to introduce Reverend Rodney now and bring him on. Reverend Rodney will be doing our evocation. So let's go ahead and bring him in. There you are. Thank you so much. And I'll let you get to it.
Greetings, everyone. Thank you again. Thank you Leda, for the wonderful welcome. So I am knowing that this opening prayer, this evocation, is a wonderful divine opportunity to once again go not just within, but to that higher place, deeper within. So I invite you to close your eyes, if you will, and if nothing else, just allow yourself to be still. And you can do this with your eyes open, as long as you don't see any distractions, because it's all the divine. It's all one. There's only one life, one love. This is the love of the divine that has created everything in of itself, not only myself, we're all individualized expressions of the one, including Leda Pérez, Suazo, Rahim, and all those who consider themselves members of One Love Center for Spiritual Living. And we invite each and every one in being a part of what this is and who we are. And so I am knowing that who we are is a wonderful, God created opportunity to present the divine word from the divine mind. I am knowing that this month, talking about living on the edge, walking on the edge, that is something that is worthy to explore from the inside out. So I am knowing that the right and perfect words are selected, right and perfect music is selected. That each one, whether myself or Leda Perez or those who are watching, are contributing in a high, potent way. And for this, I give thanks, knowing that lives are changed, lives are affected in an uplifting, powerful way. This is all for the greater good of one, therefore the greater good of all. For this and so much more, I give thanks, releasing this word into the ever perfect action of the law that responds to this word unerringly. I allow it to be good and very good. And so I release it, knowing it is already done. And I affirm that this is true. And please affirm with me by saying that so it is, and now it is. Peace and blessings, brother. And as you can see, what you experience is prayer. And that One Love Center as prayer professionals, ready, willing, and able to remind you that Spirit is the power in your life, charged, and always ready for your immediate use. And if you desire prayer, prayer requests are kept in the strictest of confidence. You can email us at onelovecenter.org. We also take phone messages, and that number coming up on your screen is a voicemail message is 646-685-3344. You can also use the Center for Spiritual Living World Ministry of Prayer as well. And that email is oneprayer@csl.org, or you can call them at 424-235-4326. So use us. Okay. So we're going to bring Leda Perez back in.
Hello. All right. Thank you so much. This is wonderful. I love having service every Sunday with you, Reverend Rodney. And I love the message for today. And today we're talking about walking on the edge of life. Have you ever felt that you were walking on the edge of life? Well, that's going to be our conversation today. And so we'd like to bring that up.
Yeah, awesome. And for right now, a little bit of technical difficulties. I'll be right back.
Okay.
We don't want you started off, and I'll
Sounds good. All right. And that's how it is. Usually we are smooth and easy, and it's fun, and it comes right to the moment. But sometimes you just have to work on some things. And later on, you're going to learn that we can sure use someone with tech support to help us out on our Sunday service. So today, as I mentioned, is all about the walking on the edge of life. And what we want to discuss really is several things, and it's how we encounter our moments of discomfort. How do we approach that? Let me go ahead and bring this up. And hopefully Reverend Rodney's working there and getting it to work for him. But we also talk about, standing in our silence, or being able to speak up instead of being silent, or standing in our truth. This is so important. Even now, you see so much of it around the world, right? People just standing up and no longer being silent and speaking up and feeling that this is something they need to do. And even though it's uncomfortable, they're just following their heart and their spirit that says, I need to express myself. So I know that we have a quote to start with, and I'm going to go ahead and bring it up. Need to make it just a little bit larger right here. And let's, Reverend Rodney, are you good?
I'm good.
You are good. How about you go ahead and start us off with our first quote, please?
Yeah. So the first quote by Howard Thurman says, conscious is rooted in the sense of value, which is a part of the working equipment of personality. This sense of value is given, but the content varies. Here, the results of training, observation, social heritage, or religious experience and instruction are made manifest. Again, that's Howard Thurman, The Inward Journey, page 58 in the ebook edition. And so it's whenever we start these conversations, we're talking about our lives, especially the inner action of our lives. We start with consciousness. Okay, so it's always about consciousness. A lot of times it's easier to just look at the outside and think that that's really what's going on, but we have to start within. And so the working equipment of our personality starts with consciousness. Okay, so let's just take that for granted. But the content varies, so things will show up differently for us, for each individual. Okay, so and what shows up for us at one point may not show up at another point, because we can grow in our conscious awareness of truth. And there are times when we can try to blot stuff out and put on the veil and put on the blinders, and act like we don't know what's going on. But most of the time, that value is, first of all, it's always there,
right?
Whether we choose to recognize it or not. And maybe too frightening walking on the edge, embracing the edge. It's like, well, let me step back. And when we step back, things will still show up differently on the outside. Okay, so that's where that comes from. And there's a question here for all of us. It says, where might I be acting from inherited values rather than consciously chosen ones? And what would it mean to examine that edge? So it's really interesting, because most of the time we just take stuff at face value. Right. I know a lot of times I don't even stop to think about where is this information coming from. Nowadays, I think with the current climate, we're more apt to do a fact check. Yeah. But growing up, there was no fact check. Our parents said this, the church said that, school said that, friends said that. And, it was like, okay, I'll just throw them all in the mix, throw them all in the washing machine and see what happens. So, yeah, that training and the observation, social heritage, all that mix brought value. However, some value was not as valuable as others. I thought what my parents were saying was not valuable compared to what my friends were saying.
Mm,
Of course, I learned the hard way in many of those instances. You don't necessarily want to get sex education on the streets. You rather get that
mhm,
in a environment that would be a bit more useful and helpful and truthful.
mhm.
So anyway, what about yourself?
When I saw this question, where might I be acting from inherited values? And, growing up, there were so many things that I've learned that I inherited from the belief system of the family.
Mhm.
Money doesn't grow on trees. Um, these things of fear, that were always less than, or were not as capable of doing certain things. And inheriting that as I gotten older, I realized that there were so many things that I missed out on because of that belief system, taking me down a path that really wasn't honoring who I truly was and could be. Thankfully, we do grow up and we get to learn and grow out of those things. So that's what it meant to me in learning that and stepping to the edge and trying it out and saying, you know what, I'm going to step to this edge and see what I find out, not about what's out there, but what's really lying within me.
Yeah, absolutely. And that that opportunity to examine uh, the edge, but
Mm,
not just the edge, but to examine how we got to the edge, and and how about if I traverse the edge, just move to the left, move to the right. However, that is all in getting to choose,
mhm.
my value. What was inherited, it may never leave. However, maybe I don't have to live from that inherited value. I'm
Right.
aware of it, but it
Mhm.
doesn't have to determine my next steps or moving
Absolutely.
which way I go on the edge or away from the edge, or what is it, straddling the fence, you
Mhm.
know, or
Right.
dipping left, over the fence, hopping back and forth, But as long as we realize we have a choice, I think that's the main and most important thing there. Yeah.
Mhm. Yes. Wonderful. Thank you for sharing that. Let's go ahead with our next one. Let's see if it. Uh, we were playing with this before, and there it is. Okay, so I'll read this one. We generally seem to resist change, even that which is better for us. We also appear to resist being what we really are. We need to learn carefully and surely to permit ourselves to accept the fuller expression of the mind that is within us. And that's from A New Design for Living, page 58. And it speaks to what you just said, Reverend Rodney, about just being open and allowing ourselves to grow from what we were to what we can become. And the question in here is, where in my life am I resisting change? Not because it's wrong. Like you said, it's not necessarily the wrong thing, just be aware of it, but because it asks more of me than feels comfortable. Oh, goodness, that sort of puts me in that perspective of, what brings me discomfort to do certain things. And I certainly have gone through that this week in my line of work. But I'm going to let you answer that first, Reverend Rodney. Mm,
Well, yeah, I can agree with the fact that we generally seem to resist change and actually do
mhm.
our best to resist change. Um, and a lot of times it's because how do I know what's better for me? Uh,
Oh, yeah.
I'm just sitting here on the edge, sitting here on the fence, and yeah, I got to make a move eventually. Uh,
Mhm.
and what I know today is that being comfortable is not necessarily like a death sentence, but it's a not to our life, but to the better. Like, hey, what's available for me? However, it's requiring me to move, to make a move. And sometimes sitting still means that, yeah, in one sense, that good and better and best may be passing me by,
Oh, right.
So it's uncomfortable for me to have to get up and go after it or allow it to come to me, but I have to do something, have to move. Uh, Getting out of my easy chair, my comfy sofa,
Mm.
my comfy consciousness that is not daring, is not taking a risk, is it's not it's attempting to not grow, which is really impossible. I mean, our body is going to advance in different ways, and we call it growing. It's
Mm.
like we grow skin, because we have skin that falls off. It's served its purpose, and new
Mhm.
skin has to grow in, and we can't stop that process. Um, and if we did, I mean, we just can't. That's life. It's always progressing, and we have to be aware of that. And that's why these classes that are offered in Centers for Spiritual Living are
Yes.
so vital, because it gets us into a space of questioning, which is in and of itself uncomfortable, because it's challenging a lot of times to look at what we think and how we think and why we think, and or we're even thinking. Maybe we're just regurgitating those inherited values and think that's all there is. But then I have to stop and like, well, wait, what am I? I'm looking at what I'm regurgitating, which means I have to look at what I'm taking in and what's being assimilated in my body and body of affairs. So what's next? I have to start looking at what's coming in and make that choice, as you mentioned. And that is the change
Mm.
that is necessary before anything different or even better is going to happen. So, in other words, dare yourself to feel uncomfortable.
Right. It's really good. I love that. Thank you so much for sharing that. I look at some of the experiences that I have been going through this week, especially, and it was very uncomfortable to have to uh, approach people who are going through their own challenges themselves and trying to show them that this too is for you, but that there is that opportunity to not resist what is there and to open themselves up to an opportunity to be a greater expression of the truth and what it can be for them. Uh, but really meeting people resisting it, resisting it, resisting it. And there's only so much that you can say until they get so uncomfortable that they're forced to move towards that. And what's that saying? When the pain is great enough, yeah,
Yeah.
you'll finally allow yourself to move in another direction. So I've really experienced a lot of that this week and just in the past few days too. But I'm really happy to see now that that opportunity was also for me to grow and for me to stop resisting that I had to be the supporter or the person who guides them in the right direction. So learning for both of us.
Yes, absolutely. All right. Let's take a look at this next quote. I'll start it off and then you can take it over. It says, to live by inspiration means to sense a divine touch in everything, to enter into the spirit of things, to enter into the joy of living. Ernest Holmes, The Essential Ernest Holmes, page 205.
Mhm.
And okay, uh, first things first, the word inspiration, the Latin root of that means breathe, to breathe. And so if you think to live by breathing is being in touch with the divine, in everything, because it's like there's a song, agape song, Ricky Byers, agape choir, the breath of God is breathing me. And when you have that concept of the one breath that each one is breathing. Each one is a part of this one breath. That's the spirit of things. Spirit also aligns with the word, inspiration. That spiration is spirit, in spirit. So again, there's the breath. And into the breath of things. This is the divine that breathes life into all of its creations, and we are of that breath. And as we, being the 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 child of God, being the prodigy, being the one from the one, we also share that breath. We go through the same, the physical mechanism of manifestation of life, of breathing life. And to enter into the joy of living, you might as well be joyful. Might as well. And the question is, where have I felt joy arise when I allowed myself to fully enter the spirit of a moment rather than control it? And again, think about breath, the spirit, the breath in the moment rather than control it. So if you think about moments when, not moments that take your breath away, but moments when there seems to be a crisis, where it seems to be upset, where there seems to be something that is out of our control. And what do we want to do? Control it. And usually when we do that, we end up with a clenched hands and we hold our breath, and there's no joy in that. So I feel joy when I'm doing things that are in alignment with my soul, like traveling, going to the ocean and just being in the ocean, gentle ocean breeze, or even being in the water, warm water. And so there are things that I know that are a part of the joy I have in living, in breathing freely, maybe going for a hike, or reading a good book, and I don't even realize how much time has passed. That's the joy in living, where I'm not counting moments, and that tends to get tightened up, like, oh my God, it's almost over, just joy. Like, think about, many people can think about, I can, from my childhood, we would play and play and play until your parent, another sibling says, okay, it's time to eat, time to come in, but I wouldn't have any concept of time. Yeah. So anyway, why don't you take what comes up for you with that, and I'll be right back.
Okay. Well, wonderful. For me, when it asked the question, what I felt, when did I feel joy arise? There are two different spaces that happens for me. One is being with my family, most especially my children and my siblings. And that brings me a lot of joy. But the other is when I'm meditating and I'm in prayer. I find myself immersing myself in what I'm reading, and I can really feel that the truth is being spoken to me. And I just feel this elation of that great understanding. I don't know that I've ever had that opportunity early on when I, was growing up, to really feel that spirit is within. And when I'm saying my prayers, when I'm doing a treatment in the morning, and I do this every single morning, I find myself touching my heart, putting my hand on my heart and just really feeling immersed in it. And that brings me so much joy. So I wonder how many of you out there that are watching are saying, this too for me, what is it that in you really comes to you when you fully allow yourself to just immerse in that and just let go of whatever else is going on and just sit in that beautiful joy, knowing that it's there. And as I said, the other part is when I'm with my children. One of the things I really enjoyed as when they were little, I'd be in a part of the house, they'd be in another, and I'd hear them laugh. And it was just so wonderful to hear their laughter. That also brought so much joy for me. I was able to really live in the moment that they were living in. My kids are just amazing. I mean, they're older adults and they're grown now and married and have a life of their own, but I still relish in their joy and in their laughter. And it does bring me the same. So I'm going to go ahead and move on to the next one here. And this is some wisdom teachings that Reverend Rodney wanted to share. And in Hinduism, as is your desire, so is your will. As is your will, so is your deed. And that's from the Upanishads. And in Sikhism, truth is high, but higher still is truthful living. And that's Guru Granth Sahib. So I would love to hear from you what that brings to you. Feel free to write a comment if you like. We would love to share that and join in on the conversation. So these two, for me, it's for as is your desire, so is your will, and as your will, so is your deed. And it's a lot like whatever you want in your life, whatever is in your heart is manifested by just the desire itself. And it doesn't manifest without action. So it's not to sit back and just, think about it and it's done, but to take the steps toward it. And that's how I see this. That's how it comes to me. And as far as the truth is high, but higher still the truthful living in truth, being with spirit. It's such a different life for me now, when I come across some of the difficult things and that are in challenges in my life, I have to remind myself that spirit is there too at all times. So, hey, how are you, Reverend Rodney? Thank you so much for back. We were just talking about these wisdom teachings, and I'd love to get your feedback on this as well.
Well, I like the fact that it is wisdom teaching, which means, and this is all ancient wisdom. Even what we talk about in New Thought, remember, folks, it's ancient wisdom. It's just in modern language, but basically it's all the same. And in Hinduism, as is your desire, so is your will. As is your will, so is your deed. It's done unto you as you believe. That's how we say it in New Thought. And that is even, from biblical times, which is also, ancient wisdom teaching, without the dogma. We're saying there's nothing that you have to do for this. It's just that, when you take a look at what you desire and what you focus on, this is what's going to show up, your deeds. And in Sikhism, truth is high, but higher still is truthful living. It's like we can go by what you say, but the truth is shown in how you live. And there are so many different religions and teachings that put that different ways. But the bottom line is, it's imperative to look at what you think and show up and see what shows up in your life. So does there seem to be a difference in what you think and what shows up? Well, then, we need to take a look at that. We need to look at where, if there's any disparity, which means that we're not necessarily paying attention to what we think and what we say and what we do. And that's where a lot of our work is at all times. And I don't care what religion it is. I don't care what spiritual practice it is. It's about being mindful and paying attention to what inherited values we have that we don't even think about. See, that's the important thing. So many of the things that we think, say, and do tend to be automatic, without thought. It's just blurted out, do it, and don't even take a look, at the consequences, or bemoan the consequences, or, maybe not have the right attitude about how things are showing up, which means, we can have some gratitude. Don't take it for granted. So there's a whole lot that goes along with not just walking along the edge, living on the edge, embracing the edge. It's like, yeah, well, how did I get there? And that may not be as important as knowing that you are there on the edge of something even greater. Okay. And it could be uncomfortable to step off, to step into, to step out from the old pattern, the old values, the old way of thinking into what's next, what's new. And it's important, and I love acronyms. Many of you may know this by now. However, no is a wonderful way to help get off the edge, because I mean, no, N-O. Of course, K-N-O-W, no, is important as well. But sometimes before we know, we have to say no. Okay. We say no. And for me, N-O means next opportunity. Okay. I'm like saying no to sitting on the fence, to not moving from the edge. I'm saying no to the old values where I don't even know where they came from. I've ingested them. I've let them circulate in my body, in my brain, in my affairs for I don't know how long. And you know what? No. Next opportunity, please. And it pleases me, that joy of living, to be able to say no, knowing there is a greater yes to come.
I love that. Thank you so much. Let's go ahead to the next one. Oh, let me put it back. And I'll get this one day. Here we go. You want to read that one?
Sure. To learn how to think is to learn how to live. For each person, by thinking, can bring into their experience whatsoever they desire, if one thinks correctly and becomes a living embodiment of their thoughts. This is not done by holding thoughts, but by knowing the truth. Ernest Holmes, The Essential, Ernest Holmes, page 22. When I came into this teaching, I realized that a lot of what I thought was thinking wasn't thinking.
Mm.
A lot of what I thought I was thinking was more remembering. It was more trying to recreate things that had already been done. It was trying to remember things that I had already said or did, and it wasn't thinking. What I prefer to use is that word contemplate, because it's more active. It's more action involved in what we would also call critical thinking. But sometimes that thinking is just rehashing the same old thoughts over and over again and regurgitating them and spilling them out, and or memorizing things and just repeating like a parrot. And that's not really thinking. So to learn how to think is to learn how to live. And to live means things aren't, there's nothing that is the same. Nothing ever remains the same. Life is not, stagnant.
Right.
Okay? And so that means that our thinking cannot be stagnant. Okay. So if you want to have a different experience, allow yourself to have different thought. Okay.
How do they do that? For someone who's new to the spiritual centers, or someone who's contemplating a place like Centers for Spiritual Living, how would they go about learning how to think?
First, and here we go with being uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Do not trust what you think you think. Okay. All right. Question what you think. And ask yourself, well, is this life affirming? How is this really working for me? How is this working for someone else? Is this centered in love? Is this coming from a truth with a capital T? And yeah, perhaps I'll have to do some serious fact checking, not just go online and look at one resource and think that's it. Maybe you'll have to spend time in a library, or even an online library. We have a Science of Mind archives that has a lot of books, a lot of information, a lot of truth teaching in so many different religions. and there's not saying one is any better than the other. However, look for the commonality,
Mhm.
look for the alignment in between the Bible and the Torah and the Quran.
The Quran.
Okay, look for the similarities, and here's where you begin to find the truth. And so question. Don't take it for granted just because somebody said it that it must be so, and that includes what you hear here.
Mhm.
Don't
Mhm.
take my word for it. Check it out.
Check it out.
Look
Absolutely.
it up. See how it feels. And
Right on for a little bit. See how it fits.
yeah. Now, if you get a new pair of shoes, you can get a size too big that will fit comfortably, but when you start walking, it might be a bit difficult. The same thing with a new idea. It's like get one a little closer to the vest, get one that's closer to the edge, you
Mm,
know, and it's going to be a bit uncomfortable. Sometimes you have to break in those shoes.
that's right.
Okay. Sometimes you buy a new shirt, it might be a little stiff, because it's not broken in,
Right.
it's not
Walking
worn.
shoes a little longer to really make them fit.
Yeah. And so
Comfortable.
it's the same thing with
Yeah.
our conscious awareness, with our thoughts. With
Right.
comfortable thoughts means, well, we're not really taking a risk. We want things to be the same. I mean, men are famous for like, oh, wearing clothes until they're threadbare, It's like, but it's comfortable, but yeah, but
Hanging on
it's
the head.
yeah, it's no longer fit to be worn, especially in public, but
Trying to
you
break free from that and get uncomfortable.
get uncomfortable. That's right.
Mhm.
Uncomfortable meaning take a risk in moving beyond what you think that it has to be this way and only that way.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Love that. Thank you so much.
you're welcome.
Yes. So I'll go ahead and take this one. There is an ample latitude for personal expression. How then are we going to know what is right and right is wrong? We are not going to know. We already do know. I want to read that again because it sort of took me back. There is an ample latitude for personal expression. How then are going to know what is right
And what is wrong?
and what is wrong? Okay,
Yeah,
so it was written
yeah.
incorrectly.
There's a
So
typo. Yeah,
the typo. Okay, sorry, I was trying to make that work. Um, we are not going to know. We already do know. So it's saying that we already know what is right and wrong. Okay, and it's just allowing ourselves to express this. Help me out with this one.
well, basically, there's a saying, um, study long and study wrong, and there's also a saying that uh, go with your first thought. Your first thought is usually the right thought. But what happens? Then we start thinking it over. Well, what if? And then we go deep into this rabbit hole of, and rabbit holes has different avenues, different escape routes, So, going down, it's just not just one hole. All of a sudden, there's all these different paths, so you can really get confused and lost. And what happens is we already do know that, and this is a divine knower that is in each and every one.
Mhm.
This is the divine knower, and it can be risky to go with this divine knower, because the risk is being uncomfortable. The
Right.
risk is, well, that's not what my parents told me. That's not what I learned in school. I used to give the example to certain people who smoke cigarettes, like, oh, smoking doesn't bother me. There's nothing wrong with smoking. I'm like, well, there was a time when a pack of cigarettes didn't have any warnings on it at all.
Right.
And then they put smoking may be hazardous to your health. And then they put smoking might be hazardous to, pregnant, mothers. And then it's that, can cause birth defects. Bit by bit, they started learning more or telling us more that they may have already known. Okay. But the main thing is that, yeah, we see they had to take a risk because they got busted. There was a whistleblower that said that they already knew that smoking was hazardous to people's health. But the risk was like how many more lawsuits, so they had to take the risk that people will continue to smoke even if they put a warning on the cigarette pack. Unfortunately, people ignore that anyway, but well, many did. And so the thing is, that risk of, and there was a point I wanted to make about something. It says,
oh wait,
that's the wrong one. Yeah.
Oh, let me do it here.
Yeah, go ahead, do it. Okay. We already do know, because a lot of times the risk is not the risk, but comfortability is, well, yeah, I'll find out. I'm going to know. And we're not risking ourselves to go within, to trust. And trust has been a big part of embracing the edge and walking on the edge. So we have to trust that, yeah, we do know the truth. We do, it's already within us. And most of us are not taught to trust ourselves. That intuition, the inspiration, all of that we're expected to have that from the outside, not trust what you have on the inside. So my message to all of those who don't know, you don't know what
you don't know.
What do I know? I don't know. Well, trust that you do know and listen intently. One of the ways to do that is to use meditation. There's something said about meditation and prayer. It's prayer is asking, very simply, prayer is asking God for whatever it is that you desire. Meditation is listening for the answer. So whatever your prayer is, it could be help. it could be a long drawn out prayer. But then be still and listen for the answer, because it's already within. Yeah.
Right. Thank you. Thank you so much for that. Let's go ahead and bring that up and take that one.
Okay. Well, whether you knew it or not, one and all, you are the light of the world. A city built on a hill cannot be hid. No one, after lighting a lamp, puts it under the bushel basket, but on the lampstand, and it gives light to all those in the house. In the same way, let your light shine before others, so that they may see your good works. This is Matthew 5th chapter, 14th to 16th verse. And I just think that's so beautiful. And I really got to have a different appreciation for that, for the Christian Bible. And also because I got to see the similarity in other religions. And most religions talk about your light, your inner light. You are the light, one way or the other. It shows up. And basically, putting your lamp on the lampstand is taking a step over the edge. But when we're living on the edge, we may not, it's like we're not getting in the full light, our own full light.
Yeah.
Showing my full light was so uncomfortable. It's like, I didn't like how I looked. I didn't like the sound of my voice. I didn't think I knew anything. And it's like, if the light is shining on me, or if I'm shining my light outward, I'm like, oh my God, they're going to see. And the ... the inherited values that said, the low sense of value, low sense of worth, that was inherited, and so I can't let people see that. What I think, they think what I think.
Right.
And of course, I'm not moving off the edge if I operate on that level. So yeah, the wonderful feeling. It's a wonderful feeling to take that risk and allow people to see your light, to see you shine your light.
Yes, to see.
It's without judgment, without criticism, without comment. It's like dancing when nobody's watching, or you're dancing like nobody's watching. Either way.
Right.
You want to comment on that?
When you on the part where it says, put under the bushel basket, but on the lampstand. I just saw that when you have that light on the lampstand, you're able to see so much more that you were unaware of. Now everything else is brighter. Now everything else is illuminating for you. So when you do that with yourself, you're becoming larger and more illuminated. And that part of you is precious and should absolutely be shared.
Yeah, and that is so true. And I want to, I'm not sure how clear this is, but it says, you are the light of the world. So we're not turning on our light. Our light is always on.
Mm-hmm.
In what ways do you find yourself trying to shade your light, try to hide your light?
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Right.
that's the important question.
Mm-hmm.
Is it's like, what, in what ways do I try to hide my light?
Mm-hmm.
You,
Yeah.
you know, in
Right.
what ways am I not living my life fully? Am I not having the joy of living to the fullest extent? We get
Right.
to ask ourselves these questions. What do I need to know in order to fearlessly shine my light?
Mm.
It's
Yeah.
like you go to the ocean or to a pool, and we want to stick our toe in there or put our finger in there to see, is it warm enough,
Mm-hmm.
so I can be comfortable when I get in. Like, I want it to be bath water. Most of the time you go to the ocean, very rarely at least, is it that perfect temperature, unless you've been to Hawaii or
Yeah.
the coast of Africa. That water is so warm. It is like bath water.
Mm-hmm.
However, for most of us, we want to test the water and slowly go in. That's like, I want to, take the blinders off of my light just a little bit at a time. And most of the time it's because I can't handle it. I'm afraid. Oh my God, what's going to happen? All this brightness, all my glory, all my wonderfulness. You
Yes.
know, it's not about what other people can stand. It's like, will I be able to stand it?
Mm-hmm.
Because it's different, it's changed, it's new, it's a new way of being. And I know that was the one thing that kept me back a long time
Right.
from wanting to shine my light
Mm-hmm.
at the light. You are the light. You can't help it.
Yes.
Get over it. You can't help it. You are it.
Right.
Go for it.
All right. Through God, you are called to be a hand to others, to step out of your comfort zone and be like a lighthouse illuminating the earth. I love this quote. A. Hella from Secrets of Divine Love. And I love that it says, through God, you are called to be the hand to others. So from spirit, from within, you are called to help others. And, one of my favorite quotes that I have and I share all the time is, the greatest gift that you can offer is to serve humanity. And it's when we are in service that our light truly shines of who we are and what we're capable of doing for others. So I
Mhm.
love that it is maybe you stepping out of that comfort zone just to allow yourself to be seen. And the
Mhm.
only way is that perfect lighthouse illuminating the earth. And this is what I want for myself. I want to be able to be that illuminating light. I want to be able to speak on new thought and what is done in my life and what it will do in yours. So I love this quote. What do you get from this, Reverend Rodney?
First and foremost, all of these are teaching opportunities, and we claim it as such, that
Mm,
I am
I
the
am.
lighthouse illuminating the earth.
Absolutely. Yes.
And we say it,
Hmm.
and we say it knowing that it's the truth, or even if we're not sure, say it anyway. And
Right.
guess what? It begins to show up. Okay. So sometimes stepping out of the comfort zone is making those affirmations.
Mm,
And before you know it, you're already doing it. Because you're being it. You're saying that you are. Remember earlier we had a quote about your word,
hmm.
about your it goes from your word to your deed.
Yes.
Okay. So that's the same thing. Speak the word.
Hmm.
Speak the word.
And it is
And
done.
it doesn't matter whether you believe it or not.
Right.
The spirit, indwelling spirit, the whole, uh,
Hmm.
all of spirit is just going to recognize that, oh, so well, it's about time. Oh, I see you woke up a little bit. All right, well, then so it is. And
Yeah.
so shall your deed be known
Mm.
among all people.
Thank you for that. You always such a great reminder that how we speak is so important, and just recognizing that that already lives within me. That is already there. I can wish and hope for it and keep it at a distance, or I can know it right now to be the truth. Thank you for that.
Oh, you're welcome. And this is for everybody. This
Mhm.
is for everybody to speak what it is that you desire. Whether you think you're ready or not, you
Mhm.
know, speak the word.
Or not, here I come.
Yeah, yeah. All right. So at this time, we move into, we easily segue into owning your thoughts
Mhm.
and having them manifest in your life. And we use affirmations.
All
So
right.
here's how we do it. I invite each one to take a breath, and we do that because that is your inspiration. You are inspiring. You are breathing in. Okay, breathing in. This is the spirit. The spirit is already within you, and there's the spirit that is outside of a physical appearance,
Mhm.
but it's all spirit. In, out, doesn't matter. There's only one. And so we breathe in, and then we recite the affirmation of truth. Okay, and then we'll do it twice. So here we go. And breathe in. It is so that I live my truth, even beyond my comfort zone.
Mm.
Let's take a breath. Do that again. It is so that I live my truth, even beyond my comfort zone.
Mhm. Let's take a breath. It is so that my inner knowing becomes lived action. Let's
Yes.
take another breath and do that again. It is so that my inner knowing becomes lived action.
Mm. And take a breath. Breathe in. Take a breath and give a breath. Breathe in and exhale. It is so that I show up fully, knowing my presence matters. Let's do that again. Breathe in and breathe out. It is so that I show up fully, knowing my presence matters. It is so, and so it is,
And
and now it is.
all right. Now we do it.
Yes. So join me as we go even deeper within to that high holy place within. And within is within consciousness. And there is no limit, there is no barrier to consciousness. Let us keep that in mind. That our consciousness extends far beyond the body and the brain. That we are of the mind, the one mind that has created everything out of itself. And there are so many names that we can use: the divine intelligence, God, Yahweh, Allah, Buddha, Great Spirit, whatever name, doesn't matter. There's only one life. And so I am knowing that this in this one life, it is the light that each one is, that each one contributes to the light as the light. And that is delightful. And so, yes, I am knowing that as each one walks the edge, is walking the edge, is learning, is educating themselves about their thoughts and their behaviors, is challenging themselves to take a risk, to see, whoa, what do I think? What do I believe? Take a look at the actions and the feelings that happen in these actions. So I am saying yes, that each one has all within them, is empowered to have a healthy, powerful, flowing, enriched, rich and wealthy and healthy life. That each one gets to take a look at their thought, their thinking, without judgment, without fear, without doubt, without worry, without criticism, only with love and peace and harmony and joy and all of the good that goes along with the light and goes along with trusting the truth that is already within each one. And so I speak this word for each and all, knowing that, yes, indeed, in thought and in deed, that each one is the light of the world, their world, and the world at large. But each one says yes to embracing the edge, to walking the edge, to crossing over the edge, to create a new edge. And that all is already known. Trust. Trust the one mind. Trust the divine inspiration. Trust spirit. I know this is the truth. And I speak this word into the law of divine right action that knows what to do and how to do it. It only says, speak your word and your good shall appear. Your wish is my demand. Command it and so shall it be. So I let this word already manifesting in wonderful ways be exactly that, unfolding perfectly. And so I release it, let it be the good that it is, and affirm it by saying, this is the truth. It is so, and so it is, and now it is. Peace and blessings, beloved. And so what you've experienced is prayer. Spiritual mind treatment is generally 5 steps. Basically, it's knowing, speaking the word, and this is what we do. And the word is for the highest and the best in our lives. That or something better. And we are prayer professionals, ready, willing, and able to know the truth about whatever situation is going on in your life. And you can make a prayer request. So my request is that you make a prayer request, is that you contact us, leave a email at onelovecenter.org. You can also call us on our new phone number and leave a voicemail. And that number is 646-685-3344. And also, you can also contact the Centers for Spiritual Living, and their email is oneprayer@csl.org, or you can call them at 424-235-4326. All of your prayer requests are kept in the strictest of confidence. And also, I have another request, that when you make your request, let us know when your prayer is answered. If not, we'll continue to pray for 7 days, and let us know. Just keep us abreast, and we'll either continue to pray, or we'll know that prayer has been answered. It could be a day or 7 days or whatever it takes. We pray until something happens. Okay, so we're also grateful for your donations to One Love. And you can do it through PayPal, onelovecenter.org. Go to our website and look for a donate button. Or you can use a Cash Me app, which is $OneLoveCSL. And so we thank you in advance for your giving this. We thank you for helping us be who we are for, wow, it's been a long time. It's like going on 14 years. Wonderful. And we have an affirmation of abundance. And you can put your hand over your heart, like Ellen always reminds us to do, and just feel energy. That is the energy of the divine that shows up in our physical realm. And we get to speak these words. We get to speak this truth. We get to know that as we speak it, so shall it appear. We have an affirmation of abundance. And it goes like this. And you can recite with me. Money, as one of many gifts of spirit, is good. As I share my offerings, I know that I am actively creating a space to receive more gift, more money, and more good. And I am grateful for the ability to give and for the good work these gifts do in our center and in our world. And now it is. Thank you. We have Leda Pérez to come on and give us some very important announcements.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
You're so welcome.
So, first of all, Science of Mind magazine, I am a subscriber. You too can be a subscriber, and it costs nothing for 6 months. You'll receive this beautiful magazine, and you'll have both 2 months in one delivery. And this month it is Reverend Raymond Anderson who's doing our daily guides. I love it. Again, you can subscribe. You message us, let us know at onelovecenter.org, and you receive 6 months free. You can read along with us throughout the week and on Sundays as well. So we appreciate that. Next, we have our Return to Radiant Flow, and that's joining at the Soulful Getaway to release scarcity, reconnect with nature, and rise into the overflow. And that is in March, March 6th through I can't see the dates, but it is in March. So contact us to know more. And of course, destination retreat, join, well, this is different. Join Ellen Suazo. You're invited to be part of the beautiful semi-private island in Pizota, Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. And I know you'll have a wonderful time. Ellen is always doing such wonderful things. As a practitioner, we're so blessed to have her with us. Next, we have our 2026 Centers for Spiritual Living convention. It's going to be in Reno, Nevada. If you love Vegas, you're going to love this. April 7th through the 10th. We love that you can be there. Center for Spiritual Living convention, CSL, there's the link right there. And again, April 7th through the 10th. Okay, next we have the Convention of the Americas, CSL Convention of the Americas. Join us July 21st through the 25th in Chapala, Mexico. For details, email us at cotalasamericas@gmail.com. There's the email right there on the screen. You can write it there on the picture as well. So please email us and we'll get you more information with regards to that. New Thought Conference. Reverend Rodney, would you like to speak on this one?
Yes, sure. This is the Celebrating Our Soul. I don't think we have the other banner up, but it's Celebrating Our Soul Conference. It's going to be at Unity Village. That's where the birth of Unity and Unity organization it is held there, August 13th to the 16th. And early bird prices are still in effect until March 31st. So you really want to take advantage of it. It's going to be awesome with a lot of great speakers. We're going to have, of course, Dr. Reverend Michael Beckwith is going to be a wonderful speaker, also keynote speaker as well. And there are a number of them. But this is Brother Ishmael Tete, who comes from Ghana. So we're bringing him in as well. And he is just really awesome as well. We have Reverend Dr. Sheila McKeithen from Jamaica, and others. I don't want to go on naming all the names. However, definitely take advantage of this. This is also in August, and this is the third one. It meets every other year, and it's just a great time. There are going to be master classes. It's going to be just food and fellowship and all kind of healing practices going on. It's a wonderful time.
And you can email us at God.org if you're looking for more information about that. Feel free to give us an email, send us an email. And Reverend Eugene Holden is doing the Art of Mastery. It's about eliminating those parts of us that have, up until now, kept us in the zone of mediocrity. And that's going to be Monday, February 9th. Starts February 9th to March 16th. This is not one of the One Love Center programs. They are based out of New Jersey, but he is someone who's our dear friend and has been on our StreamYard on our Sunday service, and wonderful. So please, if you'd like to get more information, you can certainly let us know, but the information is right there for you. Thank you so much. I think that's it. We do have yes, tech support. As you can see, we could really use that support. If you know of anyone, or if you have a heart for helping us and want to be part of our community, we'd love to hear from you. Email us, give us a call. The phone number is right there on the screen. We've been sharing throughout the service. Also, book of the month, Howard Thurman, The Inward Journey. I highly recommend this book, and we love that this is the book of the month this month. And you've seen quotes from Howard Thurman throughout our service, the Sunday service as well. So we encourage you to look into that and make that your book of the month as well. I think that is it for now, and we'll just let you do the closing prayer.
All right. So any closing remarks?
Anybody? Closing remarks? It's wonderful to, again, be with you on Sunday service. Thank you so much.
Always a pleasure. Mm-hmm. And so, again, Leda had asked a question, and basically, how do you know if what you're thinking is right or wrong? And what I say is question. Don't step back from the edge where it's comfortable, because after a while, you might end up growing spider webs and mold and feeling stagnant, and then you're gonna have to get up off anyway. So do it with the conscious awareness of that. Yeah, the truth is already inside. Mm-hmm. So be still, and it's challenging sometimes to be still and quiet the mind. It can be very uncomfortable. Yeah. To do some of those practices, but it pays off in the short run and the long run.
Yes.
So, it's prayer time. We're going to pray out. We have a wonderful benediction. We're benedicting out of here. All right. So knowing that there, again, is only one, and this one is known to each and all ones of the one, that each one knows deep within, and maybe even not so deep, that they know that they know that they know. They know the truth. And that the truth is most certainly what sets each and every one of us free to move into the land of uncomfortability and be comfortable being uncomfortable. Knowing that there is great works to be done as each one gets to shine their light. And I pass my word to Leda.
And so as we prepare to leave this sacred time together, I give thanks. I give thanks for the truth that has been spoken here today, the courage that has been stirred, and the presence we have remembering within ourselves, within one another. I go forward grounded and awake, and not just in our hearts, but in our choices, that willing to show up, especially at the edge, trusting that even when it feels uncomfortable, Spirit is already there. I'm so grateful for this community, for this practice, for the love that continues beyond these walls and these screens in front of us. And so I give this back to Reverend Rodney.
And in alignment, this truth is circulating for each and every one. Each one is the power. Each one is the light. And going forth throughout this day, throughout this week, until we all meet again, let the light shine. Let your light shine so greatly. Everybody else has to wear shades. And for this and so much more, I give thanks. Release this word, knowing it is the truth, right here, right now. And affirm it by saying, and now it is.
And so it is, and now it is. All right, we ready for the song?
Ready for a song.
Let's do it.
There's a place where love grows, where the spirit in you knows that you're meditation, joyous sacred celebration. We give thanks for all we are. Every soul has come so far. Love in action, service true. The divine spirit that is you. We're awakening, can't you see? Living love and living free. One love, one life, one spirit divine. One heart, one life. Your journey and mine. Where compassion flows and grace abounds. One love, where love grows, love is found. One love, where love grows all around. Yeah, yeah. Welcome to this sacred space where we honor every face. The splendor of the God in you, shining through in all you do. Learning, growing hand in hand. Together we will understand. Prosperous, giving, heart set free. One love is our destiny. One love, one life, one spirit divine. One heart, one life. Your journey and mine. Where compassion flows and grace abounds. Oh, one love, where love grows, love is found. One love, where love grows all around. One love, where love grows all around. One love, where love grows all around. Welcome home to one love. Yeah. Welcome home to one love. Where love grows. Where love grows. Where love grows.
I
Ooh,
that song. One
that's
love.
hey, welcome home. We'll see you next week.
Yeah, that's good. Have a great day, everyone. Thanks for coming.
Peace.